Hello there and welcome to this amazing podcast. This is Alok Tiwari and today along with my guest, we are going to give you a key to a successful marriage, and the key will be given to the real better halves, the wives, in a form of a new book called How to Read Your Husband Like a Book by the award-winning writer, marketer, speaker, Rajasekhar KS. Raj, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, good morning, Alok. Thank you
Good
for
morning.
having me on the show. I'm excited to talk to your viewers.
Tell you something more about Raj. Raj, has been for the last 8 years. He has been in the matchmaking industry with India's online matrimony leader, Bharat Matrimony, where he spearheads projects like he has launched HappyMarriages.com, India's guide to happy marriage. He has done over 30,000 people have attended his marriage workshop. So Raj, I mean, based on your bio, you seems to be a man who has got command over marriages.
I wish I had, but yes, I've always been interested in relationships,
Okay.
and my 8 years at matrimony.com has got me a little closer to the subject in which I'm interested. I
Okay.
anchored quite a few projects at Bharat Matrimony. Like you rightly said, happymarriages.com, India's guide to a happy marriage, the happy marriage workshops. I initiated the workshops, and it was run by marriage counselors. Over 30,000 people have benefited from that program. I've also been part of a project called Happy Couples, where over 1,500 newly married couples were interviewed and the stories published on Bharat Matrimony.
Yeah, tell me.
Relationships are exciting, and I'm really close to that subject.
But Raj, isn't key to happy marriage is keeping mum, Pati Dev Bechara, chup rahega to everything will be successful. Isn't that the ultimate
Yeah.
secret?
Yeah. You do see men, doing that often. So whenever the questions are longer from the wife, you will find that his responses are shorter. And whenever her questions are short, his silence will be longer. So men have been practicing that silence because they think that it leaves the wife a little less scope for an argument.
Like silence is gold.
But silence is not the answer.
Okay.
The
Okay.
answer is to have a very, very clear, candid conversation with your spouse.
Okay. Okay. So tell me something. What inspired you to write this book?
So actually, this is over a 3-decade-old seed inside my head.
Okay.
Back in 1989, my literature, there was an aunt in the neighborhood who lamented one day, saying that, why is your uncle so silent when I talk? He doesn't even respond to many of the questions I ask.
Okay.
On the weekends, he's just stuck to his remote and he doesn't give it up. He's all on TV on the weekends. So when she lamented, I just thought about, the world has been talking so much about the women being complex. It's not easy to understand women, and there are thousands of books and courses on that, but nothing much about men. And they always think that men are easy to read and understand. And that thought kept coming over the years in my head until 2015 when I started writing this book.
So you have been writing this book since 7 years in the making, right? 7 years you have studied all these couples and you have written this book.
Yes, you see, you don the hat of a marketer, so therefore you become, curious. You observe everything around you. You do research upon the story.
Okay.
So that's how I built this book.
Okay. So how do you read your husband like a book?
Well, see, there are a lot of everyday situations in which, you can catch the fundamentals of behavior.
Okay.
And that actually helps a woman to know much, to have a much better understanding of the spouse. For example, you take men, for them, work means what they do at office.
Okay.
And once they are back, you can't make them work. If at all there is a lady who can make a husband do something at home after he returns from work, she certainly deserves to have a seat on the Oprah show and an entry in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Men think that, weekends are something that God created for them to rest and relax. and work is what they do at home,
Okay,
at
but
work. That's it.
hasn't that equation changed after work from home? Because if अगर घर पे बैठा है तो where will he go out? So easier for a woman to control when he's working from home.
Quite true. The pandemic has actually changed a lot in this relationship.
Okay.
It has actually boxed the man and the woman into a corner in this pandemic.
Okay.
So he has to work from home, and if she's also working, she also has to work from home. And there is also a lot of household work to be done. And then there are the kids who want something to eat every 1 hour. There are calls, there are, Zoom sessions with the office. So there is so much of, what shall I say, restrictions on the relationship. When the man went away to work and the woman went away to work, they got time apart from each other. They got their me time.
Right.
To think and do and plan things for themselves. Now there is no me time. There is only we time. 24 hours, it's a we time. And that I think is not very good. And we are already seeing a lot of counselors and, healthcare people getting a lot of visits from the couples.
So what do you think is a solution to that? I mean, earlier we used to be out and only come back on home and meet. Now the dynamics has changed now.
Yes. See, the solution lies twofold. Okay.
Okay.
You need two hands to clap and make a noise. So the man has to come 50%, the woman has to come 50%. The man has to have an awareness that the roles have changed, that he can't be like what he was before marriage, when probably he never knew in which direction was the kitchen in his home.
Okay.
Now he needs to truly participate.
He has no option, poor guy.
He has no option. Yeah. And I think, participating in that helps you, come a little closer to your spouse.
Okay.
A supportive partner is always something that, every spouse looks for. And I think, both ways, the woman supporting the man in his aspirations and career, the man supporting woman in her career aspirations and the household chores, and also, taking care of the children at home, then you're building the blocks for a very, very happy marriage.
Okay. So tell me something about your book. Is there like a, is like a guru mantra key in terms of 5 things to do, 5 things not to do? If his husband is back and he's, smelling in a different way. So, is that the way how it goes?
See, I think in terms of mantra, there are very fundamental behaviors of any relationship, not just a husband and wife.
Okay.
Right. The first thing is, when you start expecting something from somebody,
okay,
you're always going to have consequences of that expectation. The higher your expectation, the higher the consequences. Rather, if you just thought of how can I make life beautiful for my spouse, then it changes the entire dynamics of that relationship.
Right.
You are no longer going to have any kind of friction because you have decided that you will go all out, hug, kiss, love, care for somebody and make the relationship work. So you see, that's very, very important in a relationship. Things that matter. For example, communicating very, very clearly. Good or bad. Even during an argument, it's best to talk candidly, communicate, and tell exactly how you feel when somebody did or said something. And that will resolve the issue forever.
Okay.
If you do not talk, then you are going to have a bigger problem when finally you begin talking. You see, men are so scared when, women say, can I have 2 minutes with you, baby? They get really scared. They get really scared.
That's like a death warrant, end of the world.
Yes, they think there's really something wrong that I have done. And I think today I'm going to be with my back to the wall. So I'm saying if the husband and the wife, listened to each other, then there's a lot that could be established in that relationship. Listening is not a very passive thing. Listening is a very, very active mode of. When you listen, it's not just your mind working, it's not just your ear hearing, it's also your entire being experiencing what the other person is saying. You're watching, you're looking into their eyes, you're observing the body language, their posture, their tone, you're taking in everything. That's listening. And when you listen, you truly absorb the meaning of what they say. Otherwise, you're just hearing and then you have a problem. Like, most of the time there's husband and a wife sitting and talking, and the wife keeps chatting and saying something to the husband. After some time, the husband asks, "Were you saying something, dear?" Means that's a classic case of the guy was just hearing. He was not listening.
Okay,
Because if he was listening, he had to switch off the TV or keep his phone down and give his 100% attention to the spouse.
But isn't sometimes it's simpler to lie rather than doing all this thing? Even the small lie, a white lie, is better than a huge 1 hour of truth.
I certainly don't recommend that. See, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember it.
The truth will set you free.
Yeah, the truth sets you free. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember it. But if you lie, you have to remember what you lied, to whom you lied, when you lied. That becomes a hassle for you. It's better to speak the truth always. Be candid, face the truth, be a true warrior, take the arrows in your chest, not on your back.
That's very well said. Very well said.
And plus, that's the way I've been living my life. I've been married for 25 years.
Okay.
And that's the way I've lived my life. I walk the talk.
25 years. I mean, amazing. I mean, what is your secret? I mean, I should be asking your better half, but what is your secret? What did you guys do?
See, when we got married, we are very, very clear with a few things, right? In the sense that, we will not hide anything from each other.
Okay.
We will be frank in talking about what concerns us. Even if it means us as the individual, extended family, or somebody else. We decided we would chat and talk. The second thing is we always spent a lot of time together. Even today at home, we follow something called the family time. Dinner is always together with everybody in the family.
Okay.
And after dinner, we are always huddled in the bedroom. Just chatting, catching up with what happened during the day. I have 2 daughters. One is 24 and the other is 15. My wife is a homemaker. She also coaches about 20 students in maths and Hindi. We all have a lot of things that we can talk every night. And so each of us know what's happening in the other person's lives. The fears, the anxieties, the aspirations of each of the people at home is known to everybody else, and everybody contributes for the betterment of the other person. Those are some of the basic secrets of our happy relationship. Many people in the last few decades have asked, ours was a love marriage. So I clearly tell them ours was love after marriage. It is not the love marriage that is important. It's the love that is important, whether it's before or after or during, it doesn't matter. But the love is important, not the marriage.
Okay. So, Raj, you have obviously dealt with so many married couples. You have spent a good part of your life, in that ecosystem. So,
yes,
what is it that works, and sometimes it works and doesn't work, right? There are two aspects to it. If it doesn't work, then what do you do? I mean, you still continue the relationship that it is, or you think of something else? I mean, what do you think happens?
I think ideally I would recommend that don't start with the thing that it's not working.
Okay.
Always have a relationship with the other person in very, very clear terms that, I will understand, you will also understand. I will listen, you will also listen. I will talk, you will also talk. Let's discuss, not argue. Whatever it is, we lay it on the table and we do everything away from the children. In front of the children, do not have your frictions, quarrels, and arguments. Because the children's minds are going to be impacted by what they see. Today, it's very unfortunate that, relationships are fodder for comedy shows. The reason being, the ambassadors or the so-called ambassadors of marriage, which is the couples themselves, have not been talking very well about their own marriages. They have not been great ambassadors.
Okay.
That's the issue.
But isn't it healthy that, for some time, if the relation is not working and it's not happening the way you thought it would happen, maybe a separation or a divorce is good sometimes?
I think that is the extreme resort.
Okay.
That is the last resort. If you think that you have tried everything else and you seem to be looking north, and the other person, and you seem to have aspirations that are in the North Pole. The other person has aspirations in the South Pole, and there is no way that coming together can ever work.
Okay.
That would be the last resort. I really don't recommend, and I don't think that it's humanly impossible for two people to come together, understand. See, you always have to learn one thing. Everything is not going to be similar.
Okay.
I might like Bollywood, she might like Hollywood. I might like, pop, she might like jazz. I might like white walks, she might like, Zumba and whatever.
Okay. Okay.
It doesn't matter, that there have to be similarities. You need to learn to celebrate your differences.
Okay.
That is what makes marriage or any relationship exciting. You have to learn to celebrate differences.
Okay.
If the other person is interested in something diametrically opposite to yours, please show love and care by being there when she's performing it, by being about it. That changes the whole equation.
Okay. But in last 10 years, Raj, society has changed, the way we communicate with, girls and boys among themselves have changed, So, say, for example, live-in relationship. Okay. So, live-in versus marriage. What do you say?
See, there is nothing, that can be said good or bad about anything. Okay. Everything that stands the test of time, you know what it is. Right. And there is nothing really wrong in a living relationship, because it's not that one person is cheating the other person. They're pretty clear that this is what it is. I give this, you give that. I take this, you take that. These are things that we will share. These are things where you don't intrude into. Those are things I will not intrude into. You have your life, I have your life, but we also have our life.
Okay.
If it's very, very clear and they're doing it, then I don't know what you can say about it.
But there's always a moral
marriage, of
value.
course, but let's remember, marriage has stood the test of time.
Okay.
And it's very, very natural for a man and woman to have complete fulfillment and nurturing in their life only when they are together, when they are married, and when they have kids.
Okay.
That is a very, very natural thing.
And tell me something. What is your opinion about the social, apps that gives you dating at a flip of a left or right? Is that kind of is it like a quick way to have a relationship, like a disposable, kind of in a way? Does it really harm eventually when that person goes on to marriage?
Okay, relationships are always intriguing. They're very, very natural. So it is but natural for man and woman to get together. And because times have changed, certain platforms provide you opportunities to meet people. And then if you like people and you share certain tastes and a way of, thought and life, then you get along. But dating does not end with marriage all the time.
Okay.
Because when you start dating, you think that, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm in Delhi for the weekend. I'm in Mumbai for 10 days. I'm going to stay in the hotel. I have 10 days. If there is someone that I could meet up with and spend some time and share and chat, and then we part our ways.
Okay.
There are people doing that. There are people who have dating and courtships for years together also. And there are people who have got married too. So you can't say that is wrong.
Okay.
And you can't stop it in any way. If there is no dating app, there are always, meetup.
Okay.
There are always other forums for you to meet people. So it is not bad at all. It is healthy. It is only when your intention is bad, when you hide things and when you want to cheat somebody by promising certain things, that's when all these things don't end up so great.
Okay. So coming back to your book, Raj, what kind of, give an instance where, after reading your book, a wives will have this, if it's possible to give an instance.
See, from all the women who have read so far, the married women with whom I shared my book.
Okay.
They've all said that they had their aha moments.
Oh, wow.
Yes. they said that, they did, learn a lot from this about their men, which they didn't do otherwise.
Okay.
Okay. Understanding why he does certain things a certain way. For example, if there is a husband who's come from a family where only the women do the work at home,
okay,
the person is bound that he will not help with household chores.
Okay, right.
But the book can help you understand that this is the fundamental behavior. This is why he does certain things. Then it will make sense for you to talk to him, make him aware of the fact that that was what it is, and now it's different, and it's something good to participate in these chores. Then you will get the man to do it so happily.
But honestly, I always thought that wives are a combination of Scotland Yard and Karamchand and all these investigating FBI, CBI, the combination of all these things. So why would you want to arm wives with yet another ammunition to this poor husband? I mean, come on, give us some break here.
See, as a marketer, I always look to removing friction from the problem. And this is a book that's trying to remove the friction between the relationship of the spouse and the husband and the wife.
It's not fair. It's not fair, Raj. I mean, it's not fair.
Men, may not like it, but honestly, if a husband were to go through my book, I'm telling you, he will have so much of awareness of why he's been doing all this. When he could easily avoid, when he could easily solve, when he could easily enrich and enhance the relationship. I'm telling you, I will find a lot more men buying this. In fact, the secondary market for my book is the married men.
It's like counterintelligence, right? You counter your intelligence with your wife.
it is, yeah, it's actually counterintuitive. See, because a lot of people ask me, why didn't you write, how to read your wife first?
Okay, yeah, I was about
because
to
that's
say,
what I would that's what I would have expected of a man.
Okay.
But then that's the interesting thing about relationship is when people expect you to do something, just do something else that makes them sit up and take notice of not just you, but more importantly, the subject about which you write.
Right. Amazing. I think I look forward to your book. I have a copy with me right now, so I'll go through it. And although I'm single, but I will kind of would want to give all my precious learnings to all the poor Pati Devs of the world. And while going, any last say you want to say, on the book or anything else?
Yeah, it's available on Amazon, Flipkart, Smashword, and many other platforms.
Okay.
See, the only thing that I would like to tell people, either the singles or the people who are already married, okay, is to not have expectations very high in any relationship.
Okay.
It is to be very candid in your conversations. Do not fear that the other person will judge you. Be very, very clear and candid in your conversation. Do not hide. Do not cheat. Please listen with your entire other person, because when you listen, it shows that you care for the other person. And kindly don't judge. When you start judging, that's when the other person thinks, I should say some things and I should hide certain things because I know he's going to say this. But if you were to live your life like an open book, if you were to read your spouse like the back of your palm, if you did not judge, and if you thought every day you get up and you say, how can I make my life beautiful for the other person?
Right.
How can I enhance my love? How can I show my care in a different way today? Then I think your life will be great.
Super. I think it's an amazing experience. It was an amazing conversation with you. Lots to learn, and people who know, they know, and people who don't know will also come to know that it's it's not about keeping mum. It's about communication. Talk to your person. Talk to your girl. Talk to your boy. Just clear it out. Yeah, kya hai isme? It's not a PhD or something.
Sahi bola aapne.
Right. Raj, I thank you so much for coming on to this amazing podcast. I wish you all the best. And what is next you're writing?
that's a secret. The next book is already in the works,
Oh,
but
wow.
I'll let you know when the time comes up.
Oh,
As
right.
of now, I'm really excited that this has come, and I honestly believe that this will help people enrich their relationships. And I thank you very much, Alok, for hosting me on this show. And hopefully, I've contributed something to the audience. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Have a great day.
Same to you. All the best. Take care.